Right, people, you're locked in to DJ Kat right here on arawakradio.com, 6 to 8 p.m. each and every Wednesday. So, we've now got Black Conscious Coventry in the building.
Yes.
All right, deep voice.
Oh, yeah, I forget how deep it is.
So, what brings you guys here today?
Well, you know we love you. We always want to come and say hello, but we're normally here with something going on. So, we have Black Radical and Proud happening on the 26th of October. That's Monday.
22nd of October.
Did not say
Well,
26th?
you guys need to
Oh,
say
sorry.
it.
Sorry, 22nd of October.
22nd
Yeah, we've got it on the 22nd of October. We have Professor Kehinde Andrews. I've had to change up my whole script because he's just turned into Professor of Black Studies. We've also got Asta Stanford Jose. She's an international reparationalist, and it's going to be an amazing night. Reading Kehinde's book has really opened my eyes to a lot of things, so I'm looking forward to speaking to them both, and hopefully it's going to be enlightening not only for us but for the audience in attendance.
Okay, so why is this important? Why is this event important for the listeners to come to?
I think it's imperative, really, because it's particularly for an organisation like ourselves. There's been many ways of trying to combat the system that is kind of oppressing us in many different ways, and a lot of the times we attempt to organise within the current structure. And I think when we look back at it, we've had a few successes, but a lot of the times the ultimate goal of eradicating racism has not been successful. And I think this is an opportunity to deal with the critical issue of combating racism. And I can't think of any two better scholars in the game right now. They're all over the media, newspapers. Sometimes they're vilified, but they're always on point, and we're really excited to bring this to Coventry. This is a big win for us and for Coventry itself, so we're really excited.
Okay, I've got a question that I've got to ask you guys, because I've asked people and they just can't give me an answer. So I thought, I've got three black men in the building.
What am I included in
you
this?
are, of course. I don't mind, because you're from the Belgrade and that's where it's going to be as well. So each one, you can say whatever you want to say.
Okay.
Do you think Black History Month is a good or a bad thing? You all sigh. Everybody sighs at me. Okay, I put it on Facebook. I had a lot of different ideas. A lot of different people came about, but I still haven't got an answer. Is it good, bad?
I've got a clear view on this.
Okay.
I'm conflicted.
I think that when you a lot of academics, they say this is like Black Get Paid Day month, because that's the only time they're really interested in hearing our views is in Black History Month. So a lot of academics get to go around the country and get paid. So it's good in that respect. It's good in the respect that at least there's a month where, you know, there's a focus on Black history and what we've brought to the table. But Black history is world history. You know, it's, you know, the origin of the species comes from Africa, and I think it's and particularly with this country's history with the African continent and its diaspora, I think it's an absolute disgrace that it's not really on the curriculum and it's an everyday thing. So I hear what Jerome said when he says it's conflicted. We're able to do this month, and it will get a lot more attention.
I think because there is a month
Yeah.
of Black history, it takes the emphasis away of having to include it in the curriculum. There should be more of a push,
Okay.
maybe from organisations like us and other academics, to have more Black studies included in the national curriculum. An example I'll give you, just in terms of information on Black history, or history as a whole. Kehinde Andrews was in a debate with Piers Morgan recently, and the other guy that was there debating Kehinde didn't know that India or Africa or the Caribbean fought in the Second World War on behalf of England. So again, for me, that is a huge issue. So again, having the Black History Month is a good thing, but it does take the emphasis away of actually forcing it into the curriculum.
What about yourself, Dion? What do you think?
I think, I commented on your page and I said, right now, like you, I'm conflicted about Black History Month, but I think that right now it's needed.
Okay.
But hopefully in the near future, it will be something that we won't need.
Okay.
So yeah,
One of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose as well, I think some things that, for me personally, I think kind of similar. It is needed, but the only thing that I get frustrated with, it's always the same people that I've spoken of as well, and it's always like, okay, we've said that now, so let's move on. Let's move on quickly. So, will these kind of discussions be spoke about at your event? Do you think maybe something on? Because it says radical, so
that's a beautiful question. If you say so myself. One of the things that I think defines Black Conscious Coventry from maybe a lot of other groups is that we are kind of radical in our outlook. So we're not just looking to celebrate Martin Luther King 365 days of the week. We're looking at the more radical pioneers of trying to push our black selves forward, and so I think definitely, particularly with Kende and Josie and Sister Esther, they will definitely be bringing some other voices, and hopefully people will be getting their Googles out and trying to find out who different people are that have really contributed to where we are today.
Okay. And do you think you'll get a mixture in the crowd? So it won't just be necessarily all black people, or are you looking for that?
No, I'm hoping we get a mixed crowd, if I'm honest with you, because the information that we've got to share, although I believe it will be empowering to anyone who is black, I think anyone who's not black will also gain a lot from the discussion. Okay, definitely. So, tell us, have you got like some titles so people that are listening out there, they can say, oh, they're going to be talking about this, this, and this. Have you got some like topics that you might be talking about or discussing?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about their personal histories of how they came onto radical politics. We're going to talk about politics in general, and we're going to be discussing activism, how to become active, how they became active, and kind of the history of activism, particularly in this country, because I think it's something that we're very American focused in the way we look at the narrative of where we've come from and who we are. And I think there's been a lot of pioneers in Britain that have kind of gone under the radar because of that focus. And I think that's, again, that goes back to Black History Month. I think that's kind of deliberate because, the civil rights movement was kind of a win for the establishment in the sense that nothing has really changed from that. So that is the reason why it's the main focus. However, Black British radical politics has made leaps and strides, and it is quite more radical when you look at some of our pioneers than some of the highlighted brothers and sisters that were doing their thing in America.
And just digging deeper into sort of their history, grassroots, and we'll also be touching on things like social media, politics, religion. So they're the type of stuff that we will get into discussions with the guys as well.
Definitely. So you've said radical a lot. What does that word mean? I'm just hitting you with it, man.
That's a great question.
Well, I think radical is basically it's an extreme. Well, I have to qualify this quite importantly. Radicalism is basically something that is outside of the mainstream. Yeah. But it's not necessary. It's not like left wing politics. It's more further than that. Okay. It's basically saying that if we have a capitalist structure that's racist, then we need to destroy that whole system. We need to get rid of that system. And it's about creating movements that achieve that, rather than saying, okay, we need to have civil rights, we need to have inequality, we need to end the gender pay gap. All these things they incorporate that, but they're not the singular focus. If the singular focus is on eradicating the system that oppresses us, then all these other things will fall into place as part of that. So it's about changing that focus, really.
Okay. And do you think that can be achieved?
Well, you know what?
Because I have to ask.
You know what? Yeah.
In my lifetime, I don't know, but I hope so, and I think events like this will hopefully spark the mind of some young, intelligent person to progress forward and make movements. So ultimately, it's achievable, but whether it's achievable in my lifetime, I don't know.
I'm going to be a lot more optimistic. I think it's definitely achievable. I just think like a bit like ourselves, really. You know, 4 of us came along and we was like, there's something missing in Coventry. Okay, let's do it. We encourage them people to come out from the streets, stop the tweets, and get up in the seats, and pretty much. If other movements, you know, are inspired by that and they come at it from different angles and we all kind of unite together, then yes, it can have been achieved. But at this moment in time, we're so focused on our sort of tribalisms within the black community that it is very difficult to see that at the moment in time. Like it's very simple, you know. We want to get rid of racism. Whether you got Lux or you want to go back to Africa, or you want to do this, that, or the other. No matter where you go in this globe, black people are suffering from racism and the consequences of that. Okay. So let's focus around that. We focus around that, put everything aside, religion, all these kind of things, come together on that focus. It can be achieved. And
I think this is what Kehinde and Esther will touch on in greater detail and more articulate than probably me.
Definitely.
than me and Jerome can do so. So that's what I'm really, really looking forward to listening to, if I'm honest with you.
Okay. And how do you guys come up with the events that you're going to put on? Because I'm always interested. Because you've touched on some hard topics, really.
Thank you. You know what? I mean, you're part of our Facebook group, Kat. So you know that, like, I'm just constantly reading different things, and we're avidly we're called Black Conscious Coventry. You know, we're conscious people. You know, we're always looking to see what's going on, and whatever sparks the mind, and we think, okay, this is something that is really critical, then we go for it. And the universe has got a lot to do with it, because a lot of the times we'll be thinking of a topic, and then boom, it's in the news, like. You know what I mean? Heavily, and then it just comes together nicely like that. So we've been lucky in that respect, that anytime we have a topic that we're thinking about discussing, something controversial happens in the news, and then it gives it a greater new.
And I think this topic is come at the right time. If you look across Europe and even in the UK with Brexit and the rise of right-wing nationalists across the whole of Europe, they're galvanising under Steve Bannon, and I think right about now is the time for black people to sort of galvanise themselves, if I'm honest with you. So I think this event has come at the exact right time.
Okay. So, kind of what I said to Leon, 3 words that would describe your event out of the blue. Quick fire.
Inspiring, interesting, and...
Too long, man. Come on.
Motivational. I've got 3 words.
Go on in.
Black. Radical.
I'm proud.
Proud.
All right. You know what? That was a little bit cheesy. Okay. So, how can people sign up to this event?
So, tickets are on the Belgrade Theatre website.
Okay.
So you can go onto the Belgrade Theatre website and get your tickets from there. If you're part of our Facebook group, you would have seen hundreds of emails, or the messages, should I say, going around on the Facebook group. So you can just click on the link and get your tickets there. Tickets are free. Doors open at 7 p.m. What was 6:30 p.m?
Come on, people.
7 p.m. Doors open at 7 p.m. It will run from 7 till 9.
Okay. Okay. So, any final words for the listeners out there for this event?
Yes. Make sure you come. You're excited. You're listening. It's gonna be. I think this is like Jerome was saying. It's a very critical juncture in our country. This is the right winger organising themselves. You know, it's time for the black people to organise themselves as well, and around the central issue of what is deeply viscerally affecting us right now. It's not even one of them. We're getting microaggressions at work and all these kind of things. Deeply affecting us right now is racism. So if we can come around that issue, not just in Coventry, but across the country and worldwide, then we can achieve some great things.
And for me, I want to shout out to everybody that is thinking about going, to say that you've got an opportunity here to speak to or ask questions to some of the most influential black people in the UK at the moment. If you look at what Kehinde's done recently, this is an opportunity to pick his brain. Esther as well, hugely influential. So I just think it would be a shame to waste the opportunity to come and ask these people questions. So it's just a call out to anybody that is interested. It's completely free, as I say. It's in Coventry, the Belgrade Theatre, 7 till 9.
Okay.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
This ain't never been done before. This ain't a joke thing right now. This is some serious people that we're bringing. You know, this man was just debating Piers Morgan just the other day. You know, we're bringing some serious people to Coventry, and you know, come and support that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we've had Black Conscious Coventry talk about their event, and we've also had Leon. And just so happens about the Belgrade, so we've definitely promoted them out. Big shout out to the Belgrade each and every time.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to the Belgrade. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yes, definitely.
So make sure you come along, you support, and I'll put it on my Facebook page so people can check it out for both of you as well.
Thank you, Kat. Thank
Okay.
you, man.
So I'm gonna play a song, and of course it's gonna be fire, yeah.
Of course, it's going to be fire. It's DJ Kat every time.
Here we go.